Hello, and welcome back to some Kinstretch with the Fitness Alchemists. That's us. We're gonna get into some hip external rotation work, and then also a little bit of hip flexion work, working from the deepest muscles in the hip out to include some of the more superficial or noticeable muscles of the leg that are in fact attached at the same place. For today's class, you will need a couch or sturdy otherwise place to sit on. And you will also need a block and a tennis ball. Thank you, my lovely assistant, Will. That was perfect timing. We're gonna get right into it, starting with some seated cat-cow to warm up our spine. So you can sit right at the edge of your couch, feet at a comfortable angle, hands right on top of your thighs, and press down to create a little bit of tension in your anterior trunk muscles. So you start to wake up that stuff. And then begin tucking your tailbone under, which will sort of feel like you're trying to scoop your tail through towards your knees so that you round that lowest part of your back. And then let that rounding continue up your spine. You'll feel like you're turning into a little round ball here. And you will feel like you're moving back away from your hips with your torso. So that's right on. Once you feel like you're as round as you can be and your chin is tucked in towards your chest, start again at your tail. Poke your tailbone back towards the back of the couch and start to find a little arch where you feel like you're reaching your belt buckle forward, your belly button forward, the bottom of your ribs forward, bottom of your t-shirt logo reaching forward, coming into that extension or arched shape of the spine. And then you can let the neck play in as well to as much degree as feels good. Keep working with this team starting from the tail, now rounding in your lowest back. Can you scoop that belt buckle in towards you? Scoop your belly button in towards your spine. Rounding and hollowing around those bottom ribs right above your waist. Rounding your chest. Finally rounding the neck. And then starting at the tail and working your way back up. Keep breathing throughout as best you can, just allowing your breath to flow naturally. If you notice that you are holding your breath, go ahead and just start yourself into breathing a little bit more. Last 10 seconds here, taking that nice inventory of your spine. Just want to note that this is a great option for cat-cows if your wrists need a break from being put pressure on. 3, 2, 1, wherever you are, let that go. Fabulous. We're going to stay right at the edge of the couch and we're going to do some hip capsule CARs. So again, talking about that deepest rotator stuff of the hip. So you're going to keep one leg bent, bring your other leg out slightly straight. So still a little bit of bend in the knee. I'll give a little side view. And then go ahead and press your hands down on that top thigh, again, to help you gather some trunk tension. Take a breath in, pack some air in, brace your belly around it. And then we're just going to try to roll that straightish leg out into as much external rotation as you can, and then roll it in into as much internal rotation as you can. And you're going to keep going back and forth like that. It can be helpful here to have a little heaviness into the floor with your heel and feel like you're pivoting on that heavy heel, but you're keeping a little active downward pressure into the floor the whole time. Make sure you're still breathing around your braced abdominals. And as you start to find that place where your thigh bone stops rotating, even though you might still be asking for more, spend a little time there. Start investigating what sensations are available. Perhaps some sensations of contraction deep in the hip, potentially some sensations of stretch. Just noticing what you can gather, because this is going to be one of our retest movements as we go back through. Last 3, 2, 1. And then bring that leg in, plant the foot, send the new leg out. Again, slight bend in the knee, little heaviness to the heel, press those hands down into your opposite thigh, brace your midsection, and then rotate in. I guess we're going in first on this one. We went out first on the other one, and out. Visualizing this motion coming from the top of your thigh, trying to twist the thigh inward, and then twist the thigh outward. If you like, you can take one hand away from your bracing strategy and give yourself some rotational tactile cueing to help you feel that that movement is in fact coming from the hip. Even though we're going to see the most visual change in the foot area, We don't want to just be waving the foot around. We really want to get rotation coming from the hip. Keep working with this, finding a little fight for more moment as you find that place where you're still asking for rotation, but your body just doesn't respond with any more motion. That's what we call the end of your active range. Keep playing with that for 3, 2, and 1. Fantastico. Okay, so we're gonna get into our first setup for hip external rotation. So you're gonna turn to place your left leg on the couch. We'll all do our left side together. And you wanna have your heel and ankle off the couch so that the edge of that surface is right around your kind of lower shin area. And as best you can, you're setting up so that your thigh bone is mostly straight ahead from your hip joint. It'll tend to probably try to go off to the side, which is okay if that's where you can find it a little bit. And again, it's a variable to play with, so we might advise you on that specifically. And then we're gonna look for a stretch in our deep rotator hip stuff. You wanna have your block and your tennis ball nearby. So as you get set up here, make sure those are on the couch and within grabbing distance. And then you're gonna start to tilt your torso forward a little bit. And really we wanna think about changing the angle of the pelvis on the thigh bone. So you can think about lifting your tail feathers or if you had a big Texas belt buckle, trying to tilt your belt buckle forward. We don't generally need to fold the torso forward a whole lot to locate this deep in the hip stretch that we're looking for. It's more about changing that torso angle. Will, you got a good stretch feeling there?
Definitely.
Fabulous. Okay. So hunt around for that stretch. Once you find it, I want to just start taking some slow breaths and really mapping that sensation of stretch as visually as you can in your mind, bringing as much awareness to it as you can. In a moment, we're going to try to engage those muscle tissues in this lengthened, stretched position in a way that doesn't create any movement, so just an isometric contraction. And it can help us to really visualize and feel and get as much sort of zoom in on that sensory experience of the stretch to know that we're then engaging the right stuff as we go to contract it. So stay in that position, sneak your tennis ball underneath the outside of your thigh. So if I was facing you, I'd place it right here, just above my knee, that little space. And then place your hands right on your thigh. And from here, we're gonna start to make this ankle heavy into the couch. It's as though you're trying to rotate your thigh bone outward and make that ankle heavy until you feel your thigh press up into your hands just a little bit. Sorry, I want to do that again. We don't need the ball for this part. Got excited. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go from where you were just feeling your stretch, and I'm just gonna cue the hands to come on.
Perfect.
Good. So now that you've gotten clear on that stretch, stay in the position where you feel it. We're just gonna bring the hands onto the thigh, just above the knee joint. And those are gonna provide a block. So we wanna get a little strength going in the arms. And then you're gonna make your ankle heavy into the couch as though you're trying to rotate that leg back to parallel or towards internal rotation. And keep building up that pressure until you feel your thighs start to push up into your hands. Just hold that. So this should feel like a not too intense, maybe 20% effort contraction of trying to make that bottom of the shin heavy, such that you start to feel that rotational lever of the thigh coming up into the hands. Beautiful. Hopefully this feels like some deep in the cheek material, close to the bone, engaging. We want to keep that rotational work happening and now add that we're going to make the thigh heavy. Down into the couch, ankle is still heavy, but now we're layering on that you're pushing your leg away and rotating it through the couch. And that will start to build more muscles into it. You might start to feel more kind of general side of the leg, side of the hip. Build that up slowly until you feel like you're giving it 50% of your total effort and hold there. Breathe. maintain. Keep thinking rotation, trying to spin that thigh bone away from you for 3, 2, 1. Stay in position, but just slowly fade that effort away. And see as it fades out, if it feels like there's a little bit of slack to move a little deeper into the stretch. Oftentimes this will be true. Good. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to build you up to a stronger contraction. We're going to ask you to hold that strong contraction for 10 to 15 seconds. So same sequence here, hands on to start. Make your ankle heavy. Build up that rotational action until you feel your thigh trying to pick up into your hands. And then keep that rotational action and layer in that you're also making your thigh heavy. If it helps, you can even pull up a little bit with your hand now. You can also pull up a little bit on that heel. You're trying to press down and rotate through, building up slowly until you find that familiar 50% medium effort. Now keep building. Can you slowly inch your way up to a 70% effort? Good, to an 80% effort. And then really bracing every part of your body. Can you give me the strongest, greatest, safest effort? And that might be 81%. That might be all the way up to 100. You decide what your max is today. Hold that, maintain it, fuel it with your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay right where you are and just slowly fade that away. Coming all the way back to relaxation. And fabulous. Okay, we're gonna give that leg a little break. We're gonna switch sides. Do.
Scene change.
We just really like to face each other, I think is the thing. All right, so setting up on your new side. Again, we're trying to get that thigh bone coming straight out from the hip joint. Sometimes that will feel like you want to turn your belt buckle a little more towards the back of the couch and let your knee angle that way. And then you're tilting your belt buckle forward and lifting your tail feathers to try to locate that stretch that is deep in the cheek. Taking some breaths here once you find it, settling in, and starting to really map with your mind where you feel that tissue stretching. What's the shape of it? What's the texture of it? Bringing your awareness to that sensation. Stay in position, and now place your hands right on top of your thigh, just above the knee, and make those arms nice and strong. You can brace your midsection here too. And then start finding your rotational contraction first by making your ankle, that lower part of your calf, heavy into the couch, pushing down through the ground. If the couch weren't in the way, you'd rotate back to parallel until you feel your thigh bone coming up into your hands. Hold that nice and steady. And now keep that and build on it. Can you make your thigh heavy and keep driving that rotational force into the couch? Slowly ramping up to what feels like a medium effort, 50% of your possible intensity of contraction. Breathing here, maintaining. And do a slightly longer hold at this less intense position. Breathing to fuel your work for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position, 1, slowly relax that effort and feel. Is there a little slack presented? If there isn't, don't crank on it, but if you feel a little, lean a little further into the stretch. And then we're gonna do that again. This time we're building up to a more intense hold. Hands on the thigh to start. Begin making the bottom of your shin heavy into the couch. Bury it into the couch until you feel your thigh start to lever up into your hands, that rotational effort. Keep that. And now, can you make your thigh heavy into the couch as well and keep that rotation going? And again here, if you want to add, you can have a little tug upwards on your hand, little tug upwards on your ankle to work against. Start building that up to your familiar 50% effort. Nice. And then give me a nice strong ramp up of your brace through your midsection and build up to a 70% effort. Slowly, steadily increasing as best you can. From here, give me an 80% effort, just a little bump. Good, and then give me your greatest, safest effort for today for 10 seconds. Ready? Go for it. Whole body tense, rotating through the couch, pressing that thigh down for 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax it, staying in position. And once you come back to a calm breath or two, you can come out of that shape. Za, 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 za. And we will switch back to the original side. So now we're going to try to find that tissue on the other side of the hip that helps us come into more external rotation. So before we were trying to get these guys, now we're trying to get these guys. We're going to get into that same shape with the leg, but instead of leaning all the way forward where you found your stretch, we're going to leave ourselves fairly upright here. You're going to grab your tennis ball and you're going to sneak it right underneath the bottom of your thigh, just above the knee. Boop, exactly. And that ankle is still in the same place. From here, if you can reach your ankle and put a little pressure on it, great. If it feels far away, this is where your block becomes a nice extended arm. Find a comfortable place to contact your lower leg with that block. It might be on the foot, might be above the ankle. This is definitely a Goldilocks moment because you want to just create a block, literally, so that you have something to scoop up against, because now we're trying to get rotation in the opposite direction. So find that spot, brace your belly, and then start trying to put upward pressure into that block. If you could, you'd be trying to scoop your ankle up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, you're going to find a point where suddenly your thigh starts to put pressure down into the ball because we're levering that rotation. Hold that effort. Hopefully finding some deep rotator stuff in the hip crease region. Try to build that to a 50% or as best you can, and just hold. Block is heavy. You're pushing up, trying to scoop that block towards your opposite ear. Thigh is pushing into the ball for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax that down. Za, 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 za. Fabulous. Okay, now you're going to hinge forward just slightly. So you're coming, if here is where we just were and your stretch position is here, I want you to find like the halfway point, which might be smaller or larger depending on your range of motion. So find that halfway point, and then we're going to do that same thing again. Try to find that same rotational tissue. So heavy hand on the block, brace your midsection, start trying to scoop your ankle up into the block until you feel that corresponding sink of your thigh bone into the tennis ball. Keep that rotational effort. Good, very, very nice. Ramp it up. Try to find any more, and then slowly fade it away. Fabulous. Okay, last but not least, we're going to come all the way into where you feel your stretch. Now, here, we're going to try to access that same tissue. It might not be as clear to feel. You might only feel that you get a deeper or more increased stretch sensation on the opposite side. That's still a win. That means we're getting that rails tissue to engage. So make sure you're feeling your stretch deep in the cheek. Brace your belly. Heavy hand on the block to give you something to work against. Start to scoop your ankle up into the block until you feel that thigh bone press down into the ball. Woo! Yes, good. Ramp up what you can. You might get a cramp. If you do, flirt with it. Try not to take it out to dinner. Hold and get the strongest contraction that you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax it away. Fantastic. Okay.
Cramp face.
Cramp face. Excellent. All right, we're going to do that little series on the other side. Do, 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 do. Good. Setting up on your new side. Grab your tennis ball, stick it right under your thigh. Make sure your block is handy, and you can place that against the ankle lower shin, somewhere that feels good for you to put pressure on. Starting fairly upright, so you're not in your stretch just yet. Make a nice heavy hand on top of that block and start trying to scoop your ankle up into the block until you feel your thigh put a little pressure down into the tennis ball. Ramp that to what feels like a 50% effort and hold. Good. Again, we're trying to spin that thigh bone outward so that the inseam would move towards the outside of your body. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax it away. Fantastic. Hinge forward to that halfway point. So if you were upright and your stretch was here, right in the middle, wherever that is for you. Again, brace your belly. Start trying to get the ankle to scoop up into the block until you feel your thigh put more pressure into the tennis ball. Hold that rotational effort. Maintain it. Find a nice strong effort, maybe above 50%, somewhere in that 50 to 80 range, whatever feels accessible today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax it away. Fantastic. Come all the way in to where you feel a clear stretch in the back of the hip. Deep breath in, pack that air into your belly, brace around it. Start to scoop the ankle up into the block. Feel that corresponding sink of the thigh into the tennis ball. Keep biasing that rotational effort. Maybe just feeling a deeper stretch, maybe feeling a clear contraction deep in the hip crease stuff. Hold whatever you can. Send it strength for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in position, but just slowly relax that away. Fantastic. All right, come on up. And you can set that block again towards the back of your couch so it's handy for you. Great. We're gonna just give a little more input for global rotation here, and then we're gonna start to build on what we learned. So come back to that position for the hip capsule CARs, one leg slightly bent, other leg bent so you can place your hands right on top of it, and then start to rotate out or in, whichever you picked. We showed one of each. And just notice if these go nowhere isometric inputs that we've given for rotation at your deepest hip stuff are creating different sensations in your active rotation. Sometimes it'll feel more buttery.
Or more range.
Or like you actually have opened up a little bit more range to move into. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you'll actually feel fatigue. You'll go towards it and be like, oh man, it's happening, but it's tired. All of these things are fair game. And if you're feeling other sensations that you're not sure about, great thing to put in the comments so we can discuss. Good, let that go, switch sides. New leg sticking out, slight bend in the knee, press down on the opposite thigh to gather some tension through your belly, and then rotate out and in. And again, you're gonna see the most change in the foot, but we're really trying to get that motion to come from the top of the thigh, right at the hip. So you're rotating in one direction, rotating in the other direction, talking to that deepest layer of your hip tissue. Nice. Last 6 seconds. Noticing any differences on this side. Again, this side might feel different than the other side. For 3, 2, and 1. Fantastico. Okay, we come back to our original side. So we've got our left leg bent. We've got our props handy. You might want your block for this one. You might decide that you don't want it. You're gonna find your stretch, hinging forward, tilting your tail feathers up to the sky, tilting your belt buckle. Fabulous. From here, we want to find that pales contraction, right? So we had the ankle heavy until we felt the leg come up. So you can find that nice and easy. Now, Can you make your rotation stay and also feel like you're pressing your leg down into the couch such that you can take your hands away, nice strong center. If you want here, you can squeeze your block against your chest. And now we're gonna use that pales contraction to slowly push ourselves all the way back to tall sitting position. And then relax at the top. And we're gonna reestablish our stretch. I'm gonna give you a 5 count for that rise. Even if you feel like your range is little, fill the 5 count with motion. So it'll just mean you move slower versus if you have a little bit more range. So find your stretch. Hinging forward, lifting your tail feathers. Press down, find that rotational effort and also planting the thigh into the couch. Light up that stretching tissue and then use it to create motion for 5. 4, pushing your chest away from your thigh away from your chest. 3, 2, 1. Relax at the top. Reestablish your stretch. Press down to find your pales, both rotational and straight away. Use that to press up for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax at the top. Good. 2 more. Hinge forward. Brace your belly. Squeeze that block. Press down. Find that pales contraction and then use it to lever away for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it at the top. Last one, best one. Hinge forward. Brace your belly. Squeeze that block for upper body tension. Rotate into the couch and press that thigh down. Find that pales contraction and move with it for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Fantastic. All right, gang, we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. Bup, 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 bup. All right. Setting up on the new leg, find your stretch. Reach your belt buckle forward, lift your tail feathers. Find that stretch deep in the cheek. Good. Grab your block nearby, bring it into a hug position. This is just an upper body tension strategy, so you could swap in a different one that you like. From here, brace, hug that block, press down into the couch, rotating to make the ankle heavy and also driving the thigh down. Light up that stretching stuff. Once you feel it clearly, start pressing your torso up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax at the top. Fabulous. Whilst you're relaxed, re-engage into that stretch position. Brace your belly, hug your block, ankle heavy, thigh heavy. Rotate and push away. Use that contraction to come up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax at the top. Fantastic. Find your stretch. Brace your belly. Hug your block. Heavy ankle and heavy thigh. Rotate and press down. Find that pales contraction and then use it to press up. 5. Keep it engaged. 4. Still engaged. 3, 2. Even when you're up tall, 1, you're still pressing down, you're still feeling that stuff. Then consciously relax it at the top. Nice, team. We got 1 more. Hinge forward. Find your stretch. Brace your belly, hug that block, press down into the couch and rotate ankle into the couch. Light up that stretching stuff and then use it to create motion. 5, 4, 3, 2, keep it active. 1, and consciously relax that stuff. Yeah, nice job. That is no joke. All right, gang, come back to face front. We're going to apply some of the same idea to now a more global area of the leg, the back of the thigh or the hamstring. So whichever leg was not just working, place that out nice in front of you, similar to our position for the hip capsule CARs. And then we want to find a stretch now in the back of the thigh stuff. So you can hinge forward. Again, we want to think about the tail feathers lifting, the belt buckle tilting forward. And then there's the question of where do you put this other leg? For some, it'll feel fine here. For others, you might want to bring it out to the side. You can play around with how much knee bend you have there. Find something comfortable that's not going to irritate the front crease of your hip and where you are able to feel a nice stretch in the back of the thigh on that left leg. From here, I like to press my other hands into my non-working leg, again, just as a tension strategy. And then we're gonna start to make this heel heavy into the ground, which should feel like you're starting to light up the back of the thigh tissue. If you can keep that heaviness and almost feel like you're trying to drag your heel back towards the couch, that should light up even a little bit more. Ramp that up to 20%. You're probably already there. Slowly increase to 50%, 70%, 80%, and hold. Pressing that heel down into the couch, trying to hamstring curl the heel through the floor, if you could, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax. Maybe you can sink deeper into the stretch. Often this is true. Nice, team. We're gonna do that one more time. Deep breath in. Create a little tension and brace through your midsection. Start making your heel heavier. If I could, I'd be in your living room trying to just tug upwards on that ankle. And then also add that you're dragging your heel back towards your butt so that you get as much contraction in that stretching back of thigh stuff as you can. Ramping up, probably already at 20%, inching your way up to 50%, 70%, 80%, and then give me your greatest, safest effort. Really pressing down into the floor, maximizing that feeling of the back of the leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position, but just slowly relax. I know, it's hard. We want to jump right out of it as soon as it's over. It is so valuable to hang out and ramp down that effort. Good. Now you can sit yourself up and switch sides. Easier switch for this one. Just send your new leg out. Start tilting your pelvis forward. Tail feathers lift, belt buckle comes forward, chest can come forward a bit too. Hunting around for a stretch through the back of thigh stuff on this side, keeping a little bend in that knee. And then sussing out where you want your other leg to be that's going to be comfortable for you. And that's a very Goldilocks-y situation. Good. All right, gang, take a few breaths into that stretch at the back of the thigh. And then start to find your pales contraction, engaging the stretching stuff. So the heel is going to get heavy. That's our first one. Once you feel that solidly, add that your heel is trying to scoop through the floor. If you could, pulling in for a hamstring curl, but it's too heavy, it can't move. Slowly ramp that up to 20%. Probably already there. Increasing to 50%. Finding your way to 70%. 80%, and maintain. Hold that effort. Digging into the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax, staying in position. As you feel that tension melt away, see if some slack opened up. Maybe you can lift your tail feathers a little more. Maybe you can tilt your belt buckle forward a little more, getting into a clearer and or deeper stretch for the back of thigh stuff. Round 2, we're gonna ramp up a little higher this time. Brace your midsection. Make that heel heavy. Don't let me lift it. Keep that going on and try to drag your heel back towards your butt. Lighting up as much sensation of contraction in that lengthened hamstring as you can. Slowly increasing to 50%. Good, slowly increasing to 70%. Feel this becoming a whole body effort. Gather tension anywhere you can as you crank up to 80%. And then give me your greatest, safest effort here. As much pressure as you can put into the floor, as much drag as you can get back towards your butt. Keep it going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax it away. Fantastic. All right, gang. We're gonna use that pales tissue to move from this position as well. So switch back to your new side. Hinge forward to find your stretch. Deep breath in. Brace your belly. Make that heel heavy and get a scoop of it trying to pull towards you so you feel your hamstring stuff. And then use that to push yourself back up tall, just like we did in the earlier situation. 5, 4, 3, 2, still pushing 1, and slowly relax it at the top. Good. Now you'll feel the closer you get to the top, sometimes the harder it is to keep that contraction alive. So do your best to keep that effort consistent until you consciously relax it. Good. Again, hinge forward. Find that stretch sensation first. Brace your belly. Make the heel heavy and find a heel drag. And then use that to lever your torso back up tall for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax consciously at the top. 2 more. Hinge it forward. Find that stretch. Brace your belly. Heel heavy. And then start to lever yourself back up tall with that pales contraction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax it at the top. Last one for this side. Hinge forward. Brace. Press down into the floor. Light up that hamstring stuff. Now use it to create motion. Levering up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Switch legs. Give yourself a little wiggle as you're transitioning if you need it. This is some nice focused work. Thank you for your focus. All right, hinging forward. Find your stretch in the back of the thigh. Deep breath in. Trap that air. Brace your belly. Make your heel heavy and find that pull of the heel towards you. So you're lighting up hamstring stuff. Use that to press the floor away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Still pressing down even when you're up tall, and then relax it. Very nice. Hinge forward, find your stretch. Set yourself up for success with your brace. Make your heel heavy. Pull the heel towards you, light up hamstring stuff, and then use that to push the floor away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it consciously at the top. You got it. We're halfway. 2 more. Hinge forward. Find your stretch. Brace your midsection. Keep that spine nice and stable. Heel heavy and heel drags. Once you feel that pales contraction, use it to come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax consciously at the top. You got it. Last one, best one. Hinge forward. Feel your stretch. Brace your midsection. Heel heavy to light up your pales and use it to move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax at the top. Fantastico. All right, team, for your last trick, we're gonna come back to that external rotation position. We're gonna use our pales to create motion just like we did before. And now we're gonna try to also use our rails tissue to pull ourselves back into our stretch. So we start getting into what's called the kinetic stretch. So find your stretch first. Tilting forward, lifting your tail feathers, reaching your belt buckle forward. Grab your block for tension if you like that. Fabulous. Deep breath in. Create some good tension in your midsection. We don't want the spine to change shape much as we're doing this. We're really trying to move the hip. Start pressing down for rotation and make that thigh heavy. Light up your pales contraction. Use it to push your torso up tall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like we did before. Now at the top, relax that effort. Now try to make your ankle come up off the couch. Find that rotational effort And imagine I've glued your leg to the couch and you're trying to pull your thigh towards you as you also rotate. Use that to pull yourself forward back into the stretch. Pull, 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 pull. Pause at the bottom. Press down. Find the pales contraction. Ankle heavy, thigh heavy, trying to rotate through the couch. Once you feel that clearly, press your torso away from your leg. Levering that hip back open, rotating the whole way. Fabulous. Once you're tall, try to find that scoop, deep rotator stuff, but your leg's glued to the couch. So as you try to pull your thigh towards your chest comes towards your thigh. Good. Finding your way back into a nice solid stretch sensation. There in the stretch, switch. Pressing down, rotating through the couch. Use that back of hip, side of hip stuff to push yourself back up tall. Good. One more time. Pause tall. Scoop the ankle up off the couch. Thigh is super glued. Thigh's trying to pull towards the chest, so it brings the chest towards the thigh, all the way back into that stretch, and relax it. Fantastico. We're gonna get our other side. All right, new side, start finding your stretch sensation. So we know we're at that end range of the joint. Deep breath in. Create a brace to your midsection if you want. Hug your block. If it feels more safe to have your hands on the couch, that's okay. Find rotation by making your ankle heavy into the couch. Also press your thigh into the couch. Trying to rotate away. Once you feel that pales engage, push your torso up tall. Smooth and steady. Nice and slow. Now, difference here at the top. Keep your brace. Try to make your ankle scoop up towards the sky. Your thigh is glued to the couch. So as you pull your thigh towards your chest, the thigh doesn't move, but the chest comes forward. Pull yourself in, pull yourself in. Scoop that ankle, scoop, 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 scoop. Once you're in that stretch again, switch to pales. Leg presses down, ankle rotates through the couch. Once you feel it clearly, off you go. Pushing the torso away, opening up the hip, trying to drive rotation. At the top, stay braced. Try to scoop the ankle up. Thigh is glued to the couch, so you're pulling yourself forward. Good. At the bottom, switch to the pales, pressing down, rotating the ankle through. Use that to press yourself up tall. Last time. Good. We just got to pull ourselves in. One more time, team. Brace, scoop, try to lift the ankle. Thigh pulls the chest to it. Finding your stretch again, and then relax. Woo! That is no joke. Thank you for your hard work and focus. We're gonna finish up with a little save and upload of our capsule CARs, but now in a slightly different position. So you're gonna come down into side lying, just like a side lying hip CAR. Grab that block or one of your pillows for under your head. And we're going to work our capsule CARs from a hip abducted position. The other variable to play with is how much hip flexion you're working in. So we might assign that specifically to you on this class, or encourage you to experiment with different angles of hip flexion as you go. So brace, press the thighs open, keeping the top thigh on top of the bottom thigh spatially, right? So it's not coming forward or back. And then we're just gonna try to rotisserie that thigh bone into internal rotation, and the one we really worked on today, external rotation. Back and forth, you're on the clock here. Try to keep that thigh lined up on top of the other thigh. So again, it's not coming forward or back, it's just twisting. The other thing that can help, you can put your own hand right on the top of your pelvis. Make sure your pelvis isn't moving. You're just twisting the thigh bone right in that hip socket. For 3, 2, and 1. Relax it back down. Fantastic. Switch sides. Good. Find that comfortable knee bend, deciding what angle of hip flexion you're going to work at for today. Brace your midsection and push the thigh bones apart, maxing out hip abduction, and then max out rotation. How much can you get in one direction and the other? Fantastic. Internal rotation, might not feel like much. We didn't work on that too much today. External rotation, hopefully some extra juiciness in there. Good, you got it. Keep squeezing out as much rotation as you can find for 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. All right, gang, thank you so much for showing up to the mat today and giving your hips some deep strengthening work. They will appreciate it, and we appreciate your focus and energy. See you next time.